We're macking hard. Always up to no good.
Big Willie, Big Gilbert, Planet Will Productions.
Always up to no good.
Getting nasty. Let's go.
Turn the key, turn it up, then turn it loose. Ain't looking wet, think it's dripping like juice. Riding low, and you know I'm relentless. You heard Doof bought luck, and I meant this. Betancourt breezing through the city streets.
Breezing.
Bless your speakers, that's my youngin' on the beat. Hit the pedal and the pipe starts barking. Mona Lisa on wheels rolling hard. Turning heads with this beauty on the daily. Can't let you get too close like Joe Staley. But you can look, you know, touch, you lose a finger. I bet your girl would like it too, you should bring her.
Hey.
Feel blessed if I let you inside. Goodies perfect like a brand new bride. Blinding people with the shine from the grill.
Who's this pulling up?
It's your boy Big Will, man, it's nasty.
OG nasty. Taking off running loose like a track.
I said nasty.
Heads nod when the 5-0 pass me. I be up front, the bump in the backbeat.
This is water, just water.
OG nasty. Loose like a track.
She's so nasty.
Heads nod when the 5-0 pass me. I be up front, the bump in the backbeat.
Straight pimpin'.
They turn tonight, but now you gotta know the deal. Put the oats up and slip it to the Batmobile. Doors would open up, the doors open up. Pedal going down, MPH is going up. Sideways on the corner when I bend it. Sight to see when I try and climb in it. Black and quick, blink, you gonna miss this.
You can't see me.
You get dismissed. Clutch shift gas. Gone off the line, getting nowhere fast. The bow tie lets you know that it's a Chevy. But you can call this little beauty Little Betty. And Little Betty's super pretty, super steady. Your girlie thinking about the front seat of my Betty. 8 gears make the big block heavy. And I tried to told you all, but you just wasn't ready. Man, it's nasty.
Show him, Dustin. Show him.
Like
Show him the dance.
Heads nod with the 5-0
Show him the Dustin dance.
Me.
You know which one I'm talking about, Dustin. Hold on. There we go.
Nasty. Taking off running loops like a track.
Said it's nasty.
Heads nod when the 5-0 pass me.
Straight up nasty.
The bump in the backbeat. Yeah, well, back in the day, we used to ride around in this L-Dog, green and white convertible, drop down top. It was a real puller. The women loved it, the guys envied it, and we were just rolling. I even took it to
Bling,
the club.
bling.
Me and my girl rolled up. She was in all white, I was in all white. A white tux, top hat, white shoes, and a cane. I knew I was macking, day to day, night to night. But something never changes. That ride, that L-Dog, green and white, long and sleek. Those were the days. Always up to no good.
Cobra Commander here on me, myself, and I. As you wait patiently for this magnificent show to begin, your orders are as followed. You must share this show. The more people know about me, myself, and I, the more we will be able to control the masses. Share this show with your friends. Share this show with your family. Share this show with your obnoxious, distasteful, repugnant, disgusting, cowardly enemies. Don't be a fool. Share this show immediately. We will conquer those likes and views. This is your duty. This is your allegiance. This is your show. Cobra!
I'm just glad he's paying me because Mike is just an...
Rolling.
What? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, it's time for your weekly Fix the Funny. Can I get another one of these? I'm going to need this. I'm about to do this shit. So I'm okay, I swallowed it. So grab a cocktail, take those pants off, and treat yourself to the sexy bald man that makes you tingle in your special place. Woo! I'm wrong! Got my mind on my money, my money on my mind, bitch! I'm house announcer Chet Jackson, and it's time for the Me, Myself, and I show with Mike Betancourt! Are we done? Yes.
Me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and I.
Hello. Get focused, out of focus, in focus, doesn't matter. Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of Me, Myself, and I. And I'm your host, Mike Betancourt, episode 154. 154 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. I repeat, we are at 154 episodes right here, right now, Thursday night, Friday Eve. You can tell your boss and go straight to hell because tomorrow's Friday, and then you can go to work on Monday feeling guilty what you said over the weekend. But it doesn't matter because right now is the beginning. Boom! Boom! That's it. That's the end of the show. No, we have a very, very exciting show here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have a journalist, a mom, a kick-ass comedian. Kick-ass mom, Miss Jacqui Pirl, is waiting. The Blonde Flamingo is waiting in the green room right now. She's waiting. She's the coolest chick you'll ever see and encounter. And the reason why she's so cool, because I can get away with calling her a chick like that. Before, other people are like, oh, Mike, you can't call women chick. But she's so cool. But she'll be like, I'll stab you just once, Mike. Just once. I'll let it slide. I'll stab you just once. But it's okay, folks. And I'm so glad each and every one of you are here tonight enjoying yourselves. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful video in the beginning. It was called Nasty by Will Garrett. He's a comic. And I asked him, I said, look, man, I need that video. He's like, I got you, dog. Straight up nasty. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's talk about what's going around right now in the world today. We already know what's going on. Let's talk about Tony Hinchcliffe, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? I don't want to be, first of all, hold on. I'm not the comic that's going to bash on anyone, okay? But let's just show the evidence, and then you go from there, and we will talk about it, okay? Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's play it.
Give it up for the one and only Tony Hinchcliffe.
Hold on. Before I get started, what's going on is Tony Hinchcliffe said a racist rant on stage a couple of days ago, and this was his opener. And yeah, I'm just gonna go from here. So you decide.
Hello, good evening, welcome, hello. How about one more time for the filthy little fucking chink that was just up here? While all you fucking race traitors are hooping and hollering, I'm back there watching you puking in a fucking bucket.
That's all I need is here. That's all I needed to hear. I don't need to go through it and go step by step, play by play of what he said. You take it how it is. You want to cancel him. You want to say if it's a racist rant, it is. But you know what? It sucks because people are losing their jobs because he's a corporation. If you think about it, he's a walking, talking corporation, and his podcast has people on it, and they all dropped him, and now everyone's out of a job because he wants to be shocking. So, I mean, if anyone's a Tony Hinchcliffe fan, anyone loves Kill Tony, relax, okay? Relax. All he's going to do is go on the Joe Rogan podcast. They're going to talk about it. Joe Rogan's going, well, man, if you're working on a bit, man, and then Tony's going, yeah, man, I was just working on a bit. If you're working on kinks, man, you got to kinks. I said kinks. I said kinks. I said K-I-N-K-S. I said kinks. You notice that? I'm saying it clear as possible. Anyways, I'm done. I don't want to get canceled. Guess you know who's not going to get canceled, ladies and gentlemen? It's time for Dustin's Thoughts!
Mike, I just gotta say, you gotta be really careful saying the word kinks because you're a walking corporation and you're gonna get me fired. So,
dude, I don't want you to get fired because go ahead with your Dustin's Thoughts, sir.
If you can just be careful with that. So
I will.
This
the
week
Kinks.
has been
That's a good band, by the way. The Kinks. It's a good band.
The Kinks. It sounds like a punk rock band from Seattle.
It is. They are the Kinks.
We're the Kinks, and we're gonna rock your face off. And he left. Okay. This has actually been a really crazy up and down week for me, guys. So I thought for my thoughts this week, I would just tell you guys about it. My week started at like the highest of highs, where I got to talk to and have a conversation with a comedian that has been my favorite comedian since I wanted to do comedy, Dane Cook. I actually got to talk to Dane Cook. I can actually say that I'm a little bit friends with Dane Cook. I mean, obviously, I'm going to tell people I'm more friends with him because it makes me feel more important. But for right now, I'm technically a little bit friends with Dane Cook. It's been awesome. I've gotten to talk to him and interact with him. And he recently just used some of my artwork to promote his upcoming dates. So it's been really cool. Like, that's how high of a high I was on earlier this week. And then literally the next day, I ate some bad bacon and I got like the worst food poisoning of my life, like horrifically, where I was pooping and puking a lot of times at the same time. And I had to have this weird like inner conversation of, would it be easier to be on my knees and puke into the toilet and hold a bag over my ass to poop in? Or would it be easier to sit on the toilet and poop and puke into a bag? And I'm not excited to admit that it took a lot of time for me to come up with the decision that obviously I should just sit on the toilet and puke into a bag. But as I was kind of just sitting there on that toilet for hour number 3 puking into this bag, I gotta say, it helped knowing that I was Dane Cook's friend. So, thank you, Dane.
Dustin Woods, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to move slowly and walk back from that. And, and I'm going to introduce But before we bring her up, watch one of her stand-up sets, ladies and gentlemen. She was performing at Laughs Unlimited on Ladies Night, and I've seen her start and where she is now 3 years later, and she's been growing. So I want you to enjoy this while I take it. I'm gonna get out of here.
Keep one there if I ever do it. It's 3 easy steps, ladies. Number 1, install PS4 in the bedroom. Brilliant, right? My son told me that to use your own controller, you're basically new age engaged. Number 2, I'd offer to cook for that because they don't know how to cook. Number 3, I'd offer to do their laundry. I wouldn't actually do their laundry, I'm not stupid. It's the old 1960s swimming hole trick. I'd take it, hide it till I wanted them to leave for a reason, and throw it back at them. But I managed to get one of these lovely creatures in my house the other day. And then I'm old, so I forgot about him, and I went to a mic like this. Came back 5 hours later, you guys. Dude was still naked. In my bed, eating a Hot Pocket, playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I was like, what the fuck, dude? He goes, man, guess I live here now, because they don't know how to pay rent either, right? That's when mommy mode kicked in. I'm like, oh, hell no! Game over, player 1. Fuck, you've had enough screen time. Get out of here. All right,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? She's a kick-ass mom, a kick-ass comedian, a kick-ass person from Hawaii. She is known as the Blonde Flamingo. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and make them feel welcome for Jacqui Pirl.
That was great.
Jacqui. Hold on, Jacqui. Blonde Flamingo. I see the flamingo in the background. That's
yes,
awesome.
I have a whole shrine to them tonight. I set it up.
We should donate to the Blonde Flamingo, by the way, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. If you want, I know comics are struggling, but Jacqui Pirl wants flamingo donations. That's
Oh my
the one
God.
thing.
Those are all things people have given me.
That's so cool.
Like, I swear to you, not a month, not a week goes by where somebody doesn't send me a flamingo picture or a flamingo video and go like, oh my God, I thought of you today. Or a picture because they were at some random shop and they had flamingos. They're like, oh, look, this is you. And I'm just like, oh, wow.
Where did that come from?
That's crazy. Okay, so I'm not, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm not a terrible flamingo fan on its own. I mean, they're gorgeous birds, but you know, they're birds. They stink. They shit their own legs. They don't smell, you know, like, I mean.
They pull a Dustin on bacon.
Yeah, we're not going to go there.
Pull a Dustin on
You're the one. Oh my God, what were you doing eating bacon with Chad Beal anyway? What the hell's up with that?
I knew there was
I blame
something
him.
wrong with it. It was gray. When I was eating it, it was gray. I was like, I don't think this is the color bacon's supposed to be.
I am so sad because you probably aren't going to be able to eat bacon for like ever. And that's just horrible.
I know.
Oh.
So
But
speaking
anyway,
of shitbirds.
I have like super long arms. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like my wingspan is like 6 feet and I'm only 5'5". Like I could honestly be that, you know, that blow up balloon guy at the used car dealership.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Just be me. And when you hang out with comics, as you guys know, they find the thing you're most insecure about and they just go off on it. So I was with a friend of mine and he said, you know, the other thing is I dress in pink a lot, like all the time.
Right.
And that really is me. But he goes, you have like a bird-like nose. You have super long arms. Like I honest to God stand like this all the time. Like with
That's
my,
hilarious.
Like I don't know why. It's just comfortable. He's like, you're the blonde flamingo. And I'm like, what? Like, and he just kept going with it. And finally I went, okay, I'll be the blonde flamingo. So I started working.
It's such a good name though. I got flamingos in my backyard, because I have a cheesy tiki setup.
Of
and
course.
It's like I got tons of flamingos. I'm like, dude, it's all Jacqui right there. It's
right? You know
so,
who did this? Ed Mina is one of the best branders. He will look at somebody and go, you are that. And I've seen him do it with so many people.
That's a good gift to have.
He's the one that said that to me, and I'm like, I'll go with it. And now it's kind of like Bob Ross with his perm.
Yeah.
That wasn't a real perm. He hated it. But that was what he got his publicity pictures on, and he had to go with it for 50 years. And I'm like, I'm the blonde flamingo. I can deal with that.
You hate those birds, but those birds are going to be cashing in on you pretty soon.
Well, I don't hate them. I prefer dogs and cats. I never would have thought of a bird as a logo, but it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant marketing. So
that's great.
Congratulations. I'm the blonde flamingo.
Well,
you can call me a chick because I am the blonde flamingo.
You are. see, folks. See. Look at that. That's the only reason why. Hold on. Drake Comic saying hello. Former guest saying hello. He also says, "I love super long arms like a spider." And you just ruined Drake Comics. Look what he wrote. He said, "Wait, Bob Ross wore a wig?"
No, he got a perm. He took his first childhood is ruined.
Drake says his childhood is ruined because of the blonde flamingo.
Thank you very much. I can ruin anybody's day. Try me out.
That's your tagline. While you're standing, that's your stand. Book the blonde flamingo. She'll ruin your day.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're not originally from Hawaii, though.
I grew up in Minnesota.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. Don't you know?
Big
yeah,
difference
sure.
from...
You betcha. Where Sven and Oli were, you know. And
you missed last. We had Cheryl the soccer. We had hold on, Dustin. We had drunk Cheryl last week.
Yeah,
and
I listened to that. I love her.
I love that 2 Minnesota people in a row.
I know, right?
That's
awesome.
By the way, Jacqui, you're 100% right about Ed Mina. The first time I met Ed, he looked at me like he was sizing me up, and he noticed that with my condition, I only have the one tooth, and he went, "White thing," and I was like,
"Fang." Yes.
I didn't know who he was, so I thought it was just a stranger
that's such a
saying
gift
it to me, and I was like, Thank you.
I've seen him do it to so many people. Just walk up and go boom, and I'm just like, brilliant.
And you need that from someone else. You need it from someone. It's so hard to dig in and find your own nickname.
Yeah. White.
Speaking of Minnesota, by the way,
great.
you can check out Cheryl's episode on youtube.com/MikeBComedy. And then throwing in this Minnesota in it right here. You like that? Little segue right back in. So tell us about Minnesota. What was it like growing up?
Well, you know, I lived in the suburbs with a mom and a dad. They still married after 56, 57, 58 years. My bedroom still is the same in my house. It was a pretty nice upbringing, and I was bored out of my fucking mind.
I like how you got out of your accent right when you said that. Oh yeah, and I was bored out of my fucking mind.
So the second I turned 18, I left and I moved as far away. And I also hated cold. I still do. So I moved to Hawaii when I was 18
Was
years
that
old.
just something that you just picked, or you just said screw it? You
I
were
was
destined
at the
for that.
University of Minnesota, and I found out I could do a national exchange program, and national, not international.
Right.
And I found out that they had one to Hawaii, and I signed up, and they picked me. I don't know who the poor soul was that went to Minnesota. I'm going to shut this window.
This is a very professional show, ladies and gentlemen. We have a car alarm. Blonde Flamingo just gets up and leaves during the in the middle of the interview, sits right back down. There she is. There she It's okay. If I can handle drunk Cheryl, I can handle anyone.
I love her. Every time I go back to Minnesota, I hang out with her. She was one of my first, like, before I even did comedy, I saw her do comedy, and I was like, there's older women who do comedy? Like,
oh, nice.
Who knew? And I got to know her, and I invited my niece and nephew who live in Sacramento to come see a show. And my niece looks at me after the show, and I go, you didn't like that? What's going on? And she goes, that lady who says as fuck, she was my preschool Sunday school teacher.
Oh, shit. Drunk Cheryl was a preschool.
And her husband plays in a band, or used to when they lived here, with their dad. And I went mind blown. Like, when stuff like that happens, you go, you know, you're in the right place at the right time. Because
How weird is this, though? How weird is this? Last week's episode with Cheryl. This week's the continuation and the legacy. Moving on to Jacqui.
Yeah.
Pirl.
It's like
exactly.
Cheryl's posse.
Yeah.
I love
the predecessor.
She is so encouraging. She is so nice. She is so freaking funny.
So she inspired you to do stand-up comedy? She inspired you to do stand-up comedy?
She was part of it. I hadn't really been thinking about it. I'd been going to comedy because I was newly divorced and seriously depressed, and I just moved to California from.
So you weren't doing comedy in Hawaii growing up?
No, I never did comedy. I didn't start comedy till I was 52 years old.
Yeah. Why start comedy in Hawaii when there's nothing to be depressed about?
Yeah, bingo. Yeah, I mean, why would
I know,
you
right?
be
Just
in
thought
a
about
dark,
that.
Smoky nightclub at
I know, right?
To be out enjoying the sunset.
Don't you hate it with the waves, bro?
Yeah.
Don't you hate it when you see a sea turtle?
That sucks, man.
So what was it like?
I was not depressed enough to do comedy in Hawaii. It was not.
What island were you? Did you grow up in?
Oahu.
Okay, nice.
Honolulu.
Nice. Okay. Did you? I'm sure you went all over the islands, all over. Any fun things you did, or any wild stories?
Like the first week, I'd never, when I first moved there, I was on a national exchange program. So I thought I would be there for maybe 3 months, a semester, a good semester. And so I tried to do everything that I possibly could. Like I never said no to anything because it was going to be 3 months. And then I was getting shipped back to Minnesota and going back to the University of Minnesota. And I was just like, okay, so, somebody'd be like, do you want to do this? Yes, I'll just put it on my credit card. I don't care if it takes me till I'm 180 to pay it off. I got to go do that. One night I did enough Jell-O shots. Now you have to understand, I was 19 years old. The drinking age was 19. I did enough Jell-O shots that I blacked out at a bar at 4 o'clock in the morning and woke up the next day on Maui.
Whoa. That's not just a drunk story. That's like holy crap. That is badass. You woke up on a different island.
Beach. No clue how I got there. On a beach with a bunch of people that had stolen towels from a gas station that we were sleeping on. And I woke up, and this is honest to God, there were dolphins playing in the surf.
Wow, you were castaway drunk.
And I was like, yeah, Wilson. And I was like, I'm never going back to Minnesota, like ever. Like I called my dad that week and I said, sell my car, sell my parka, sell my skis, sell my motorcycle. I'm never coming back home again. If you want to see me, I will be right here.
Could you imagine being that? Hold on, Dustin. Could you imagine being that drunk and then the next day you wake up and it's like this beautiful island?
I get why she was like, "Fuck Minnesota." Like, when I get drunk and black out Minnesota,
I know you're like Minnesota.
Snowbank next to a frozen cat, but here it's dolphins playing. First off, I've blacked out and ended up in like a different room in my house.
Yeah, right.
But never a different island. Like what?
The funny thing
badass was that?
None of us know how we got there to this day. Like we.
You know that's what's great about Hawaii, how spiritual it is. It actually protected you while you were blacked out drunk.
Yeah, the mana.
The mana, yes.
Straight up protected you. Because that is the worst parent's nightmare.
Oh my God.
Their kid getting drunk on an island and end up on a different island.
Yeah, you're lucky you woke up with your liver.
Did you take a ferry? How'd you get there?
We got on a plane. Like they let us.
How did you get on a plane? Did you have a boarding pass?
Yes, we were searching our pockets.
Did you go like this?
Okay, this is Jacqui Pirl.
You guys have to understand, this is 1985, you guys. It is way pre 9/11.
Yeah, but that was with Iran.
Yeah, but what do? You just walk up and you're like, take me to the dolphins.
We want to go to Maui. They went, come on in. We'll fly you over.
Jacqui, the plane went like, where do you want to go? Let's see. Let's go right there. That sounds good. Oh. That is such a great. Why don't you talk about that on stage? That's such a good story.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
I don't know.
That is such a good story.
Stories like that.
That's an incredible story. Like,
dude, that's everything that would never happen on Law and Order SVU.
Yeah. You lived the best version of SVU where you didn't end up.
Seriously, you went to every single scenario for it to be SVU'd, and you dodged them all. You got drunk with strangers.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
You woke up with a dolphin. There's no porpoise inside you.
Yeah.
They were playing. It didn't crash. Maybe the pilot was drunk too. We don't know.
Or maybe
badass.
they just parachuted out.
And it took me, this is what's hilarious. It took us like 3 days to raise enough money to get back to Oahu.
What a great story. Wait, how did you do? Would you do this? Wait. Hold on for a second. The way you said it sounded easy. We raised money for 3 days. In 1986, no one gave a shit about giving money to people.
My friend, we hiked back because we were literally like 2 miles from the main road. We had hiked to a beach. Yeah, it's all kind of blurry, but we hiked back. And
of course it's blurry. You still don't remember what happened years later.
So one of the guys there had an aunt that lived on Kauai on Maui, and called her and was like, hey, there's 8 of us, and can we crash in your yard for a couple of days? And then, like,
there's 8 random drunk strangers from a different island that we don't.
I kind of knew, like, I had met them at the University of Hawaii. Like they ended up in the same like college town bar that I was at, so I knew them enough to go, hey. And I don't know at what point bars were open till 4 a.m. So I don't know at what point in the night we went, it'd be a great idea if we got a plane and just fucking went to another island. And I'm sure it was me going, I've never seen any other islands. I'm from Minnesota. Let's go.
I was going to say,
So we
Jacqui,
stayed at
like,
this-
on a scale of 1 to 10, how much is it possible you were the one that brought up going to another island?
That is so 100%. Wow, what a kick. Is that your first time saying that story on air?
Oh, yeah.
Here on Me, Myself, and I, by the way.
Yeah.
Exclusive interview about Jacqui and Blonde Flamingo.
A few other people that, and of course the 8 of us, I still know all these people.
You have got to talk about this on stage.
Yeah, the freaking Tales of the Blonde Flamingo.
Seriously. Tales of the Blonde Flamingo, big time.
Oh my God.
What other stories? We're interested. Before you even get to comedy, let's talk about other kick-ass stories. Can you? Yeah, you can.
God. Okay. I've never told this one before either. This is so embarrassing.
Hold on.
So, like, from the time I was 14, I worked in a pancake house. Okay. But the neighbors across the street owned 3 or 5 Perkinses, which is kind of like a Denny's or an IHOP franchises. And I used to babysit for them. And they called me one Sunday before I was even old enough to work and said, the dad said, talk to my dad and said, look, we don't have a hostess today. We're really short. Jacqui can handle people. Can she come in and just, can you drive her here? Would you mind? And paid me under the table. Ever since then, I worked there. So I was a pancake waitress and hostess from the time I was 14. So I moved to Hawaii and I'm like, I don't have any money. Like literally, I don't have any money. My parents are not going to help me pay for college. I just left the University of Minnesota and moved to Hawaii. They'd never even been to Hawaii. And I'm like, I need a job. So day 2, I go, I don't have a car. What I did have was room and board. Okay. I had, because it was an exchange. So I did have a dorm room and I had 3 meals a day, but I needed a job. So I started walking around in the college neighborhood by the University of Hawaii, just walking in randomly going, this is long before the internet. You know, I know how to waitress. I know how to bartend. Can I get a job? I know how to waitress. I know how to bartend. And it was just like, no. Very local places. I'm obviously a haole from the mainland. I walked in this one place. It was kind of dark. It was probably 11 o'clock in the morning. And there were people drinking there. And this lady says to me, yes, of course. She said, come back tonight at 7. She goes, it's fine. She goes, you know, you'll get paid in tips and probably like, I don't know what the wage was then, $2 an hour or something plus tips. We're talking 1984, right. You guys. Okay.
That's awesome.
And she said, and you know, we'll give you a meal. I'm like, yes, food. And she's like, and you can drink while you're working here. I'm like, what? Drink while I'm working here? Cool. So I went back to the dorm. I'm like really excited. I'm like, I've got a job waitressing. I'm going to make some tips tonight. You know, I can buy pizza, whatever it is. And I got there. By the way, this may be important. I don't know if you know anything about Korean bars, but she was a Korean woman. And I went in and I'm this very young 18-year-old girl. And I went in and I'm serving drinks to all these like 60-year-old men, which is, it was not the nightclub it looked like during the day. And
this is the Law and Order SVU setup right here.
Yeah.
And these men asked me to sit down and asked if they could buy me a drink. Okay. And I was like, I don't think so. I'm working. And the mama-san, the Korean lady says, oh no, sit down. They buy you a drink. And I was like, okay. And I love people's stories. I mean, I'm all about stories. So I sit down, they buy me a drink and they're talking to me. Anyway, as it turned out, I was in a Korean bar for about an hour and a half. I was working that's basically kind of an I don't know if you have Korean bars here. I've never been in one since, but it's sort of show your titties, I buy you drinky kind of thing.
Oh, you were in that bar?
I was working there. I had a job there for like 2 hours till naive Minnesota Jacqui figured it out. And I went, no, I am not going to show these men who are my father's age my boobs. What is... And
God, how uncomfortable would that be?
And I walked out. I just
Jacqui,
out. And
you and I have a mutual friend in Danny D that would love that job.
I think I've actually told her that story before.
It took you 2 hours. You're like, I'm done.
That's
I mean, I was
insane.
so innocent and naive, and I had no idea. I went back and told the people at the dorm, like, this is what happened, and they just they're like, that's a Korean bar. They're all over. Oh my God. And I was
just a regular Korean bar.
And then they started explaining. Yeah, well, Korean bar in Hawaii basically means kind of an undercover. You can, okay.
Wow.
In the live stream podcasting system, sexually frustrated listeners are considered bored and extremely dangerous. In your streaming device, the dedicated host and correspondent who investigate their guests' vicious and dark answers from an elite game called the Special Mikedoms Unit. These are their stories. Pow, pow, Mike, and Dustin.
That's what it was.
Perfect episode.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that moment. That was perfect. I waited for it all to die down. I said, Dustin, these are their stories.
That was beautiful. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jacqui, you have lived a kick-ass life. That's so awesome.
This is
I'm
only
so glad.
2 stories.
That's
stories
only 2
of her entire life.
That's only 2, ladies and gentlemen, of Tales from the Blonde Flamingo. By the way, ladies and gentlemen. Tales from the. Wow, we already got a comment. What Will Garrett says, LOL. Elias says, Birds of Prey 2 with Harley Quinn's mom, Blonde Flamingo. Yes. Oh my God. That's so cool. So you got any other kick-ass stories?
I think someone else should tell a story for a little while.
We're interviewing you. This is all about you. This is about everything about you. We're writing your hour bit. We're writing your hour special right now. That's what we're doing here on Me, Myself, and I.
I'll tell you one more thing, and this is kind of legendary.
I don't know. The first one was the best.
Yeah, that's a tall bar to raise to.
Well, it became legendary in my kids' brains because they didn't know. So I used to race dirt bikes when I was younger, and when I got to Hawaii, I couldn't afford a car, and so I bought a motorcycle, and it was a little like a red Honda Rebel, and then I had like a pink and blue CRV, like a 250. And my girlfriends and I used to go out after, because I bartended and she waitressed, and we'd go out afterwards, like in mini skirts and heels, and drive down to the bar that was open later than ours. And we knew the bouncers down there because it was kind of like an industry bar, it was all the people who got off work at 2.
Right.
At the bars so you knew everybody. So it was kind of like our hangout from 2 to 4 on a Saturday night. It was called the Wave Waikiki. Hello,
and you didn't have to show your boobs for drinks or anything.
No.
Oh, okay.
I just got to go relax, and people bought me drinks, but I didn't have to show anything. But one night there was a fight outside, and Nikki Dunnage, she lives in Australia. She was my roommate for a while. Pulled up. She was on the back of my motorcycle, and the velvet rope there kind of thing where the people are waiting in line. They're all in line, but we always just walked in. And there was a fight kind of going on, and the bouncer's like, you guys need to get out of here. And I just pulled up on my motorcycle, and the other bouncer said, just bring the bike in here. So with her on the back, I actually drove into the Wave Waikiki.
Oh, you had your own Undertaker entrance music
and
with the motorcycle.
Between the two in the foyer, and left it there. And it was one of the coolest things. Like if I didn't think I was moving back to Minnesota when the Dolphins showed up, I was just like, no fucking way.
Okay, we got to rewrite everything about your act. You need to come to comedy clubs on a motorcycle from here on out. We got to carry it on.
I haven't ridden a motorcycle since I was 7.5 months pregnant with my oldest child, because my husband.
Wait, you were pregnant while on a motorcycle?
You can't let a motorcycle sit. You got to start it up. And it was low on gas, and had been in the garage. So I drove it like a block and a half to put gas in it to go back. And my husband came around the corner and made me sell it the next day.
Who the hell are you? She said, oh yeah, I was pregnant. The kid was kicking and bumping.
Jacqui, Jacqui, for your act, you need to combine all three of these stories into one night where you're pregnant on a motorcycle. You pulled into a club that was a Korean club where you had to show your boobs in order to get drunk, and you blacked out and you woke up watching dolphins play with each other on another island.
While
I could not talk about drinking while I was pregnant because I have never done that.
That's fine, but you could do all that while watching Law and Order SVU. That is badass, Jacqui.
My kids didn't know that I rode a motorcycle for like most of their life until
look at Elias has told you Harley Quinn's mom.
Teenage years and doing all these crazy things, and I was a very strict mom. I mean, I was a very they were tethered until they were old enough to, because I knew what I was capable of.
Yeah, and island hopping instead of just bar hopping. Yeah.
And, so I'm having some friends over for dinner, and it's late, and the kids are supposed to be sleeping. I thought the kids were sleeping, and one of my friends starts telling that story about riding the motorcycle, and they talk about and then the kids got up the next day, and they're like, we kind of need to reevaluate. We need to have a talk, Mom. What? Again, who are you? What? And
that's awesome. Your kids are giving you the talk.
13 to 15, critical age where you don't want them to know stuff about you. Like I've always told my kids, if you want to know about sex, drugs, and rock and roll in my personal, my personal life, don't ask me till I'm 35, because I'm not going to say, oh no, think about it. Oh, I've never done drugs. And they're like, Mom doesn't know what she's talking about. Of course, I know better. Or, yeah, I did. I had a fuck ton of drugs, and look at me, I'm fine. While I was a product. Oh, Mom did drugs, and she, they're going to do what they're going to do. I didn't want to influence that. I would talk to them about it, but not you don't get my personal stories till then. So
not until that's when the book comes out. the drug years of Jacqui Pirl. That's when the book comes out.
Well, hopefully your kids watch this episode and they're going to be like, Jesus, Mom.
Damn.
They know.
And this is all before stand-up. You have so much material. You have like a 2-hour special, Jacqui. This is all great stuff. And I hope everyone knows this. This is amazing. So, okay. So while you're being a maverick on these islands, when did you decide to leave the islands and come back to the mainland?
My husband of 25 years was cheating on me, and he's a pharmacist. I don't want to put this out there too much. Anyway,
no. Let's move on to something else.
I'll tell you. I divorced my husband. And my son was at UCLA, and we were paying out-of-state tuition, and I knew I would need to help him, and I couldn't afford to pay out-of-state tuition, so I knew I had to move to California for 6 months to get residency to help him get out of school. My older daughter was at the University of Hawaii, but she had residency. My younger one was 16, so I got on a plane, packed up the house, sold the house, and moved here.
Wow. What a sacrifice, though.
Seriously. You gave up all that partying, which is great.
All that island hopping.
I was a wife and mother for 25 years. I managed an anatomic pathology lab. I wrote freelance.
Yeah, but that party animal.
I was not partying like that at that point in my life.
But Jacqui, after being in Hawaii for so long, was there a bit of a culture shock when you walked into a bar and showed your boobs and they were like, it's still $7? Like, was that rough?
Completely. Yeah. I tried to buy beers that way for the first year of comedy. It just didn't work. Or not that.
You're like, where do I park my motorcycle? They're like, what?
Get the drinks.
Yeah, where do I park my motorcycle in your entrance area? You're like.
So while you were in Hawaii, though, you were a journalist?
I majored in journalism in college. I basically majored in surfing and looking at cute boys. So it took me almost 7 years to finish.
Okay.
But because I always thought that once I was done with college, I had to go back to Minnesota. I don't know why. It never occurred to me, and I didn't. But yes, and I was a writer. I did a lot of corporate stuff. I've written and published books. I wrote a lot of travel. I wrote a lot of, people from the mainland for magazines and stuff. They want to know what Hawaii's like, and I would write that. It's simple. It's right out my back door. It's like,
right.
I wrote a lot of parenting articles for about 6 years. I had a column in a parenting magazine in Hawaii. I don't know why they'd want parenting advice from me, but I gave it.
Don't give your kids too many shots while you're on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Boom.
You could ride a motorcycle up until you're 5 months pregnant, or
right.
catches you.
Yeah. And then I did a lot of corporate stuff. So I did sales and marketing for an anatomic pathology lab in the Pacific, and that was a lot of writing too, but a lot of writing.
So how does your journalistic skills help you in stand-up? Do you feel like you can really, or you feel like you're a mad scientist compared to everyone else?
Hugely. First of all, performing was very hard for me. I think most people get into it the other way. They go, I'm going to get up on stage and talk about funny stuff because I'm funny at parties, right? And I am a writer. And when I write, it's, the right word, the right sentence, the right cadence. And then I usually would have to hand it over to some corporate person who would read it. And I'd go, that's not how it's supposed to. God, you screwed that up, So I'm very much a writer. So I write more than I perform, actually. But getting that to a place where I feel comfortable with it is difficult. I was talking with another comic today, and I said, I'm very much a procrastinating perfectionist. So if I can't get it right, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, you got all the elements, Jacqui. You got all the elements. You got life experience, kick-ass life experience. You're a mom, so that alone, and then your writing abilities. I mean, you're deadly. I don't think people realize how deadly you are, especially after this podcast. I'm like, holy crap! Just the dolphin alone, just one dolphin alone, is amazing.
One dolphin away from
one dolphin.
I know that we brought her up before, but it feels like it's all the ingredients that make Cheryl such a heavy hitter in the comedy world.
She's awesome.
Jacqui, you have all those same ingredients.
100%. So do you feel like you're holding back? When do you think? Here's a good question. When do you think the performance you will meet up with your writing skills, and they both combine? When do you think they're going to meet?
It'll be a couple of years, yeah. I think it's building. I just got to the point, literally right before everything shut down with the pandemic, where I actually considered myself a comedian. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever went through that, but it's been 4 years total. March 12th.
Right on. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
And the last 14 months, that's been weird, So before that, I would say before January of 2020, I still had this imposter syndrome where I felt like, I don't know what I'm doing on this show. I don't know. I still feel like that sometimes. It's like, why am I here? They're so much funnier. They know what they're doing. I felt like all these people had secrets. And actually weird.
Yeah, but no one could be Jacqui Pirl. That's one huge secret. No one could be you ever.
Yeah. I feel weirdly that Zoom, which I hated at first, absolutely hated. It's not stand-up. It is not stand-up comedy. It is some other form of entertainment between improv and prop comedy and joke telling and storytelling and a hangout. But I felt like that really helped me kind of get comfortable with things. And there were a lot of different games being played, like spin the wheel and riff on something, or stuff that you don't have an opportunity to do when you're going to, a bar for a 5-minute open mic kind of thing.
So do you feel like, because of COVID, do you feel like you've regressed your progress?
I feel like I have I feel like I might be a little bit rusty on stage with timing, but what I have done is networked a huge amount with people all over the world.
Yeah.
That now know me.
Oh, everyone's gonna know you tonight. After the Tales from the Blonde Flamingo. You kidding me?
It's like Tales from the Crypt, but it's Tales from the
No,
Blonde Flamingo.
it's even better. We would watch this 100%. Did you watch Tales from the Blonde Flamingo? It was crazy. There was a dolphin and Law and Order. So has your ex-husband seen your stand-up?
I haven't talked to him in 3 years. I don't know.
Okay, good.
Oh, wow.
Good for you. Good.
No.
Nope.
My kids talk to him. I try not to ask. We're our own ways. I wish him all the happiness in the world. I wish him. I was miserable for the last 6 years of that marriage. Very happy before that. For the last 6 years, I was so miserable at the end that I didn't even know how miserable I was. And then everything changed and I moved here and I was miserable for another 6 months. And I thought that was just, that was a continuation of my life. That's how it was going to be. And I've never been happier in my life than I am.
But you know what's great though? When you came to the Sacramento comedy scene, you brought Hawaii and you brought the fun and you brought the love here. I don't think you realize that. You brought it over here because before, a lot of pink, a lot of smiles, a lot of bright colors, and we need that. And for you to do that is such a great thing. And you need to
I've
continue
never not
that.
seen Jacqui positive, which is awesome. Like, you're always smiling, you're always happy, it's always good talking to you, and that's something that not everybody brings. So
I go through dark times too. I mean, like, especially in the last year. Yeah.
We're all comics. I get it.
Yeah, but
you went through dark times. It's not dark times. It's called a blackout. It's called a blackout. Did we lose her?
Not mad.
Hello, Jacqui? Dustin, did we lose her?
It's frozen. I think her internet blacked out.
Hello? Her internet blacked out.
It blacked out, and now she's on another podcast.
Now she's on another podcast with a bunch of dolphins.
Yeah.
Hold on. Jacqui?
Yeah?
Jacqui?
Hey! Oh.
Damn it, Jacqui, keep moving. Hold on, folks. Hey, by the way, folks, do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning in, make sure you check the rebroadcast on youtube.com/MikeBComedy, because this has been one amazing episode. Hold on. Jacqui? Yeah! Jacqui. There we go.
You're back.
Yes, you're just a little bit delayed, but it's okay. It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good.
All right.
So,
Sorry about
for you starting out at an older age, what did that feel like to jump into comedy at your age?
I got into comedy because, my kids are grown and they have their own thing. And the way you meet other adult friends when you're an adult is like you go to school and you meet people, or your kids are on a soccer team, or or you go to work or whatever. And I didn't know what else to do, and I was literally like sitting home for 6 months crying, and I thought, I've always loved comedy. I need to go watch. I need to laugh. Like and I think people now after COVID really need to laugh too. And
were you nervous doing stand-up at your age? Weren't you terrified?
Absolutely terrified. Had no business being there. Knew that 100%. I took a class because I went to watch comedy, and then I heard about open mics, and I went to watch open mics like Reconnaissance, but I did not get up, and I knew I was not going to get up unless I slapped down the money and signed up, and I had to be accountable to be there at a certain time to take this 3-week class. And when I did that, at the end of that, I had written 5 minutes, and it was Keith Lowell Jensen who did the thing, and it was at Blacktop Comedy, and he did a showcase at the end and had Johnny Taylor Jr. headline. And the first time I got up on stage and did comedy, there were 150 people in the room.
Oh my God! Your first time? Your first time?
Because he had done this as a showcase, and there were 8 or 10 other people in the class, and they all lived in Sacramento, and they invited everybody they knew to come to this showcase. So
what did it feel like when you got there? What was the feeling?
I threw up before I went.
Yes, I did too my first time. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
And then
that's so awesome.
I threw up after I got off stage. But it felt amazing.
It was a good barf.
I was like,
did you barf like a flamingo?
and then I picked it up and fed it to my daughter. Like the bird I am.
You gave it to like a flamingo feeding another flamingo.
Yes.
You gave it a sound effect too. Oh.
Yeah.
But didn't you feel like you accomplished something when you got on the other side?
That was like a breakthrough moment for me, being like so whacked out. I mean, you have to understand, I didn't feel funny. I felt fat. I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel all of those things. You know, I felt.
Hold on, Jacqui. Hold on. Damn it! She's right before she says something amazing too.
Like profound.
Yeah, and she's like, she's speaking in dolphin right now.
She was like, the secret to success is.
Hold on, Jacqui. One more time. Are you back? Okay, there we go.
Am I?
Say it quick.
You're back.
Okay.
Yes, you're back.
No,
you're back.
I felt like a failure, and that like opened it up, and I was like, wait a minute, this is a door I walked through. This is like, what's going on with you right now is not permanent. You can do something else. You can change your life. You can do something else. This is not the end. So it was the beginning.
I love that.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That is such a kick-ass story. Look at it, like from the beginning of you leaving Minnesota to kicking ass in Hawaii, having a kick-ass life, being a mom, putting up with shit, and then full circle coming back to the States and doing something that a lot of people would never do in their entire life.
Yeah.
Your
life is a series. If you look back at your life, Jacqui, your life is a series of jumping into the deep end of life and not being scared. Being scared to do it, but not hesitating to do it, which is
Tales from the Blonde Flamingo, ladies and gentlemen. Tales from the Blonde Flamingo. Hey, Jacqui,
New York
real
Times
quick.
#1 bestseller.
Yeah, right.
It's
Jacqui,
a Minnesota thing. We're trained. It's a Minnesota female thing. We're trained to just always say yes.
I need to move to
You
Minnesota.
want to get on a plane to Maui?
In the live stream podcasting system, sexually frustrated listeners are considered bored and extremely
Oh my god!
Oh my god, that thing never gets old. So, Jacqui, what's your advice to everyone that wants to follow your footsteps?
I don't know that anybody wants to follow my footsteps, but if you're stuck in a situation, or you feel like you're at a dead end, you don't have to want to do comedy. You could want to write poetry. You could want to change your careers at, your career at 50 years old is go freaking do it. I mean, let's say you're an engineer and you've hated it, but that's what you've done to support yourself or your family for that long, and you want to try woodworking. You know what? You can always go get another job as an engineer. Just you only get, as far as I know, one chance. So
you got 12. I just want to let you know, after this podcast, you got hella chances.
Oh, see, I'm a cougar.
You got
Cat.
hella chances.
Cats get 9 lives. Cougars get 12.
That's awesome. Oh my God, Jacqui. Thank you so much for being on the show, by the way.
Oh, I had
really
a blast. I had no idea any of this was coming out, but I had a blast.
No, it's great. I'm so glad you did. And don't worry, if it was going to get bad, I would direct it in a different way. That's not that type of podcast.
Yes.
But ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Why don't you follow Jacqui Pirl on Instagram at Pearl Jacqui. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow. And you can also follow the adorable one, Dustin Wood, on Instagram.
Dustin, it was so awesome to see you again.
You too. I love you to death. You're awesome.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can check out the rebroadcast here on youtube.com/MikeB Comedy. There's a rebroadcast, ladies and gentlemen. And big thanks to Will Garrett performing Nasty in the beginning of the show, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have a video, if you're playing music and you're a struggling artist and you want to get exposure, contact me. Okay,
That's awesome.
We will play it, we will dance, we will do it, whatever it takes, and we'll have donations, whatever you want. But again, we got a comment. Hold on, we got a comment. Of course, Will Garrett said, "Great show." Yeah.
Nice. Thank you,
awesome.
Will.
Awesome. And again, one more time for Jacqui Pirl. Tales from the Blonde Flamingo. God, Jacqui, I wish you nothing but the best success in your comedy career.
Thank you.
You have a wild story, and you have so much more. You have no idea. You have no idea. And I'm saying this as doing stand-up for 16 years. You have no idea how much more vast mounds of material you have. You have so much. Just watch this show, write everything down, and perform it, because I want to see that dolphin story.
Yeah,
I really do.
Okay.
It's freaking hilarious. Me and Dustin will help you write it too. So
100%.
we are here for you.
I
So
love that.
thank you, Jacqui. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. It was awesome to see you. I had a good time tonight. A really good
Good.
time.
Tell everybody about the show. And ladies and gentlemen, we will
Absolutely.
see you next week.
Me, myself, and I.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
me, myself, and I.
Freaking Jacqui Pirl. Follow her on Instagram, ladies and
Me,
gentlemen.
myself, and I.
Follow the adorable one on Instagram as
It's
well,
me,
ladies and gentlemen.
myself, and I.
I'm blown away. I never knew how badass Jacqui Pirl was and is and will be forever. By the way, folks, you can check out the rebroadcast on youtube.com/MikeBComedy. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Tell everyone about this show. It's a lot of fun, and you know what? You're not going to get another kick-ass story like this. I mean, Jacqui Pirl, wow. Again,
It's Tales from the Blonde Flamingo. She will tell you about getting drunk and having sex with dolphins.